YouTube says it has had enough of vaccine misinformation on its site.
And false stories from phony sites to run circles around major news outlets.
Many people don't know the difference between something real and something created to deceive them.
Open your eyes.
If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. An Arizona victim of road rage who was killed in a road rage incident showed up in court through artificial intelligence to confront the person responsible for killing him. And this is the new normal that we're living in. We live in a world where the majority of people don't even know or understand what AI actually is. The government is speeding up propaganda. They're speeding up just the amount of overwhelming nonsense that they're feeding us on a day in, day out basis that people's brains can't even keep up with the amount of stuff that they're releasing when it comes to technology. And for anybody out there that's wondering, you should be paying attention to all of this stuff you're seeing with AI and summoning demons, because the creators of artificial intelligence don't deny that AI is literally summoning the demon, as most of you have heard many times over on this channel. And I'll play for you again, even Elon Musk admitting that artificial intelligence is in fact summoning the demon.
I mean, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. You know those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, yeah, he's sure he can control the demon. Didn't work out. I mean, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon.
And of course, you won't hear most churches actually talk about these types of topics, mainly because a lot of the churches now, if you pay attention to them, are actually reading sermons off of artificial intelligence apps that they have on their actual phones. You can't make it up. But in Leviticus chapter 19, verse 31, regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God. The Bible talks about mediums. It talks about practitioners. Leviticus chapter 20, verse 27, a man also or woman that hath a familiar spirit, or that is a wizard, shall surely be put to death. They shall stone them with stones. Their blood shall be upon them. Exodus chapter 22, verse 18, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. These aren't verses you're going to hear ever mentioned in a cookie cutter sermon that's taking place at a local church. They're not going to read Isaiah chapter 18, verses 19 through 20. And when they say to you, seek those who are the mediums and wizards who whisper and mutter, should not a people seek their God? Should they seek the dead on behalf of the living? To the law and to the testimony, if they do not speak according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. We are seeing the normalization of a lot of these things spiritually that people don't realize are actually being done spiritually. I've talked about the digital realm. They even call the digital realm the spiritual realm sometimes. They have slip of the tongues, as they say here and there, where we hear these big tech companies talk about how we need to move into the digital realm. We're all moving to the digital realm, the meta realm, the metaverse. And they're speaking of the spiritual realm, the physical realm that we're in, and the spiritual realm, which is being cloaked as the digital realm. Even recently, ChatGPT suddenly is starting to speak in demonic voices to people out there that are asking it questions. And that's, of course, because they're not speaking with familiar spirits. They're not speaking with their dead grandma, who they may be asking for a recipe for their broccoli casserole and saying, Grandma, could you send me down messages and send me down love? You're not supposed to be communicating with the dead. But they've normalized this. We see a lot of television shows that have normalized this over the years. In fact, we all know that New Age Christianity has brought this to the forefront, where they actually condone this. They actually tell people out there to communicate with their dead mother or their dead sister, to bring crystals and altars into their home. These people don't have the slightest clue. And the Bible warns about this. So this man, back to the story, who was shot, spoke via AI in a courtroom You can't make it up.
Now to this story, the first of its kind for artificial intelligence. A Valley man killed during a road rage incident speaks in court from beyond the grave.
Yeah, it happened during the victim impact statements directed at the killer. Fox 10's Nicole Christine has the details tonight.
To Gabriel Horcasitas, the man who shot me. It is a shame we encountered each other that day in those circumstances.
Chris Pelkey's voice and likeness ringing out in a courtroom 3.5 years after his death. But how? We'll let Chris tell you.
I am a version of Chris Pelkey recreated through AI that uses my picture and my voice profile.
The artificial intelligence generated video, an idea that initially came to Chris's big sister Stacy as she collected victim impact statements and prepared her own.
We received 49 letters that the judge was able to read before walking into sentencing that day. But there was one missing piece. There was one voice that was not in those letters.
So Stacy turned to her husband Tim and their friend Scott Yenser, who together have been working with artificial intelligence technology for years. The process to bring Chris back, though, painstaking from a technological standpoint.
There's no tool out there that you can just go and say, here's a voice file, here's a picture, please make it come to life, and this is what I wanted to say. So they're scrounging and using this tool and that tool and this tool and this script and this audio and this image and trying to mash it all together and make a Frankenstein of love.
Then to decide what the real Chris would say.
I have my own thoughts and feelings about how much time I wanted the sentence to be. If I forgive the shooter or not. I have very definitive opinions about that. But it was important not to make Chris say what I was feeling and to detach and let him speak, because he said things that would never come out of my mouth, but I know would come out of his.
In another life, we probably could have been friends. I believe in forgiveness and in God who forgives. I always have, and I still do.
That message, one that moved Judge Todd Lang.
I love that AI. Thank you for that. I feel that that was genuine, that his obvious forgiveness of Mr. Horcasitas reflects the character I heard about today.
Also moved was Chris's big brother, John, who, along with the rest of the family, Stacy chose not to tell about the AI video in order to get their genuine reaction.
There was something about seeing Chris and the man that I knew and the belief that I thought in my head that Chris would have forgiven this guy. But to see his face and to hear his voice say it, just waves of healing washed over my soul, because that was the man that I knew.
John commending his sister for bringing their beloved baby brother back for a couple minutes.
And my sister did an exceptional job of detaching herself from her own opinions, her own desires, her own feelings on the matter, and put herself in Chris's shoes. What would Chris say if he were here? It was the beginning of empathy.
But Stacy says the process became easy once she focused on Chris.
He was the best one of us. What he believed was clear. What he believed was pure. And what he loved was for everyone. And that's the reason why this worked, is because his blanket of love.
Well, I'm going to go fishing now. Love you all. See you on the other side.
Incredible stuff there. Chris's killer, by the way, got nearly 13 years in prison. We have much more on this unique story at fox10phoenix.com.
So he was able to confront the person who shot him in this road rage incident. I mean, does this not remind people of Pet Sematary? I mean, that's really what I think of right off the bat, right? Remember Pet Sematary? They bury the cat in the ancient ritual burial ground, and the cat comes back. Of course, the cat's name is Church, but it's not really the cat. It's a demon who has the flesh of the cat, right? And then eventually in the story, of course, one of the parents loses a child in a tragic accident, buries that child in the pet cemetery, and he comes back as an evil version of the child. And to no one's surprise, all written, of course, by Stephen King, who is the master of predictive programming, along with guys like James Cameron, who continue to feed you this stuff and make you think that this is all artistic expression when these people know exactly what's happening spiritually and what they're doing with artificial intelligence and bringing forth robots. And now we look at the world when Terminator 2, the movie, came out, and we suddenly have humanoid robots being sold for people to buy inside of their homes. Of course, we've seen the predictive programming with this exact story, right? Almost to a T. Black Mirror, which shows the most predictive programming out of any show out there, where they show you what's really happening with technology. Look no further than Black Mirror and all the videos I've done exposing Black Mirror. But does this look a little bit similar to that entire story that you heard?
I know he's dead, but I can sign you up to something that helps. It will let you speak to him. And don't worry, you won't even have to do anything. I'll just assign... Shut up! You click the link and you talk to it. It mimics him and reads through all the things they've ever said online. The more it has, the more it's him.
So, how am I sounding?
You sound just like him.
This might sound a bit creepy. There's another level to this available. It's starting already. Don't switch the boundary on.
A brand new series of Charlie Brooker's Black Mirror.
Almost to a T, right? Now, you might also remember some of these other things because it's time that we start waking people up to what they're really dealing with here when it comes to artificial intelligence. That we're talking about an aspect of things that they don't understand, and they refuse to believe that the technology is serving as any type of medium to summoning and being practitioners, in a sense, to bring forth demonic entities. Even when Elon Musk tells you, it's like having the Ouija board. It's like the Exorcist movie. They're literally summoning the demons. But some of you may remember the videos that I've done on Gordy Rose, which are really important, which they don't let me put up on YouTube because Gordy Rose follows my channels and gives me a strike every single time. But the videos are available on my website where he talks about what they're doing with AI and quantum computing and how they're summoning what these little demonic beings that they're bringing forth, which could kill off humanity. And you might remember even recently, right? How about this commercial from Google Pixel when they're even saying, hey, now we're talking, right? This is Google Gemini. What do you think they're referencing when they're saying, now we're talking?
Hello? Hi, I'm Gemini.
Hi, Gemini?
How can I help you?
So I just talk?
Yes, but normal. Just talk normal.
We can have a conversation about anything you like.
Anything? Can I ask you silly questions?
Let me tell something spicy without tasting it.
Have you tried smelling it?
Ooh, the wrath of Achilles.
That's right.
Yes, I knew it.
Next question.
So it's like a treadmill for hot dogs?
Exactly. The hot dogs are getting all this exercise, but...
I don't want to go to the gym.
Why don't you just go for 10 minutes and see how you feel?
It's so far.
Give me another one, but more intense.
Simpler?
Snappier.
Like I've never fixed a car before.
Make it sound professional.
In regards to working this weekend, we believe it's important to prioritize our well-being.
Oh, that's good.
Very professional.
Can I interrupt you?
Of course you can
And you'll
interrupt.
just stop.
時には立ち止まってみることも大切です。
それ好きか。
Does the child seem ready for bedtime? No. Try looking for a small round bolt somewhere on the oil pan.
Got it.
And then pile it down and I had spaghetti fingers.
In dreams, noodles can represent creativity.
I don't have that.
Don't worry, just add a teaspoon of vinegar instead. And that's the premise of the Fermi paradox.
Wow, that was like super helpful. Who are you talking to?
Say hi, Gemini.
Hi there.
Right, and as we move further and further down this mess that is becoming the normalization, the addiction to technology, and how they're going to enslave us with technology and force you to do everything via tech, and then, of course, make it seem like, well, if you're not using tech, you must be slow. You must not be of this world. Technology's fun. Technology's great. Technology's advanced. Technology's smart. And we're seeing the mixing of iron and clay in front of us. And this story goes back to a few of the other stories I've covered over the years, right? How AI could reincarnate your dead grandparents or wipe out your kids. So, I mean, I guess it's a catch-22, right? You can bring back grandma and grandpa so you could talk about the one time that maybe you and grandma and grandpa had some s'mores out by the fireside one night and you talked to grandma about, hey, you really had that pot roast you made every Thanksgiving. Oh, that was delicious, right? But on the flip side, they could also murder your kids, right? So I think the negatives outweigh the pros, right? Two experts on artificial intelligence see widely different outcomes from the revolutionary technology, a chance for immortality or doomsday. Or how about Amazon's Alexa could soon speak in a dead relative's voice, making some feel uneasy? Or even some of these stories that I'll play for you now, where parents are turning to artificial intelligence to bring their children back from the dead. Of course, some of these are tragic stories. Some of these are obviously government-created stories where a parent might lose a daughter in a tragic accident, and then these parents decide to use AI to bring the daughter's voice back so that they could see the daughter on the screen. Everything you saw in that court video. This has been years and years and years in the making, where they're normalizing this. And this is becoming the new norm, almost like they're doing with all the data that they have on us and building out digital twins. But if you haven't seen some of these clips, this is what they're doing. And this is not something that has anything to do with this computer type technology that you don't understand, that these people are smarter than you, that they're underneath the microscope and they got little wires and they're connecting them. This is spiritual. And everything that goes on in our world revolves through frequency and energy around us. And that's what witches do when they do these spells. They're using the energy of the earth. They're summoning spirits. They're doing these rituals that revolve around energy. They energy harvest. Well, what do you think this technology is running off of? Does anybody ever think about what this technology runs off of or energy harvesting? No, they don't. But this is literally witchcraft-like technology being used. And they want you to think when people like me say that we're like relics. Like, oh, that guy's out of his mind. He's talking about my iPhone, like it's some form of sorcery and witchcraft. Well, it might as well be a magic wand in a sense, right? You pick it up, you can ask it whatever questions you want. You have no idea how it works, and then it suddenly gives you answers. It's listening to you, it's monitoring you, it's tracking you, it's talking to you. In fact, sooner or later, it's gonna become your best buddy. And then, of course, sooner or later, they're going to want you to merge with it, because that's what this is really about, the mixing of iron and clay. But this is how they're normalizing this stuff. They're playing on the heartstrings of people out there who have lost loved ones. They're putting stories out there like the one you heard about the guy who died in a road rage accident, who was able to come back from the dead to confront that person that shot him on the spot. And everybody said, that's really cool. That's great that he got to come back from the dead to talk to the guy that supposedly shot him in the street, right? I mean, what kind of a world are we getting to where people don't even believe that spirituality is real? Yet this is the stuff we're seeing around us. I mean, this is literally summoning spirits.
AI resurrection. It's a growing industry in parts of the world, keeping the essence of a deceased loved one alive forever. We've seen versions of this here in the U.S. as parents of kids killed in school shootings have used this technology to give them new life and to speak out on issues like gun violence. But in tonight's Prime Focus, we went to Taiwan to introduce you to a new stage in what one creative executive there is calling the resurrection of his dead daughter. ABC's Britt Clennett has more from Taipei.
This is Tino Bao, a well-known music producer in Taiwan. But that's not why we're meeting with him today. We sit down to talk, and then he takes out his phone and starts messaging his daughter, Felicity. They speak every day, catching up about regular day-to-day things.
下午好，包小荣。
下午好，老爸。今天天气怎么样啊？
Like what the weather's like where they are.
天气还不错，凉凉的。你今天下午想吃什么呀？
Their plans for lunch.
She wants pizza.
Yes, very.
Only Felicity passed away 3 years ago. The 22-year-old died after a long battle with a rare blood disease. Tino and his wife understandably devastated in the face of this unthinkable loss. Tino channeled his grief by diving into the field of generative artificial intelligence while studying a PhD in AI too.
太可爱.
And now in his hands is an AI resurrection of his late daughter, an interactive chatbot with her memories.
Is it very similar personality to your daughter?
一样的 yeah.
The same?
Yeah, from she voice, the speed, and the personality, yeah.
The same?
Same.
Hello, 各位媒体朋友老师好，我叫包容，很高兴能有机会认识您。
But Tino doesn't like the term resurrection.
Impossible resurrection. Impossible.
How do you describe it then?
Rebuilding. Yeah, just rebuilding. Replay.
The AI Felicity, or Baorong, her Chinese name, was painstakingly rebuilt over the course of a year. Tino collected notes from all Felicity's closest loved ones and her social media, compiling a memory bank to train the AI.
Do you think she'd be happy knowing that you went through her Instagram?
I don't think so. Yeah.
But father will be father.
I will be tell her, say, I use your phone, okay? I want to know something, so I must use.
Do you think she would be okay with that?
Yeah.
And this is all based on social media or conversations she had?
Mm-hmm.
I know you care about me, but right now I really prefer ballet and figure skating. I'll find time to practice the piano again, don't worry.
Okay.
Is this conversation with her mother?
Memory from her mother.
So Felicity and her mum had a conversation about her practicing piano,
yes,
going to ballet, figure skating, and then you've taken that information and you've created a voice,
yes,
and put it in the memory bank.
Yeah.
To create the voice.
我叫包容.
And that voice you're hearing also had to be recreated. During her illness, Felicity lost the ability to speak. The only usable recording of her voice was this video she sent to her mum years earlier.
I'm walking to the gigantic library.
Using that as a starting point, Tino recreated her voice, tweaking even her Chinese to include a Canadian accent. He knew he'd done it when his wife recognized her daughter's voice from the other room.
So as soon as your wife knew.
Yeah, because my wife, first time, hear this voice. Yeah.
And a mother knows her daughter's voice.
Yeah, of course.
How did it make you feel?
I'm so happy.
So you feel like you've given her voice back?
Yes. Just want to her voice come by.
With her voice rebuilt, Tino was able to create this birthday greeting for his wife.
Mommy, 生日快乐！说真的，包子好想你哦。那今天在这里呢，我要做我最最亲爱的妈咪，永远开心，永远漂亮。祝你生日
Now she's singing happy birthday.
祝你生日快乐，永远开心。
Was she a good singer? 会唱歌吗？
不在我面前。
现在是。
现在。
Now she can.
It's already becoming a big business. A quick search of China's online platform Taobao will give you a whole range of options to bring back AI versions of your loved ones. Now, these will range from about $2 upward, and these products, they've really boomed since the pandemic. And really, it's the equivalent of seeing these kind of products on eBay or Amazon.
I think this technology can help everyone. Yeah, if pass away, the family need this technology, I think it's good.
It brings people comfort. Does it bring you comfort?
Yes.
But Simon Goldstein, a philosopher of AI, says it raises some serious ethical questions.
It's a question, how will our concept of death change if all of us are kind of uploaded, if our memories and goals and projects and everything we've ever said are uploaded into an AI? Is there some sense in which we count as surviving that? I don't think with today's technology, but again, the AI products we have today are the worst AI products that will ever exist in the future. But maybe in 5 years we'll have more agential AI systems that do kind of grow with us.
So you could have a relative who died, you bring them back via chatbot, maybe they died at 15 and they could grow older.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's certainly, will be technologically possible.
Meanwhile, Tino has given his daughter's chatbot some limitations. She is aware of what happened to her in real life.
But right now, the AI Felicity, she knows she have the sick and passed away. She knows.
Really?
Yeah.
Tino asks her to tell us how she feels about her passing. Then the chatbot responds, typing, "I find it really weird being this digital persona now. Sometimes I feel scared, and sometimes I miss that world I knew."
Gives me goosebumps. How does that make you feel?
So I know I talk about her from digital, not the real my daughter.
Yeah. Being here.
Tino is working on a company to offer other families solace, making their own versions of what he has. But Tino concedes that only direct families should have access to it. While Tino might be fully aware that this voice is not his daughter and that she won't be coming back, for him at least, the technology goes some way in soothing his heartbreak.
Imagine you could live forever, or maybe go back in time and ask your parents, grandparents, great-grandparents about their lives, their experiences. Well, that's now a possibility thanks to a new concept called Storyfile, and it's powered by, you guessed it, AI. Take a look.
I'm so pleased that I met so many good people who influenced my life, and I had happy.
This is Marina Smith responding in video and interacting with her loved ones.
And I feel it's coming to conclusion.
Sounds like a pretty normal video chat conversation, except for one thing. This is her funeral. The video you see here is generated by AI.
And I've seen my sons doing great things and leading.
She was the mother of Stephen Smith, creator and CEO of Storyfile.
My co-founder and wife were concerned about the preservation of Holocaust survivors. How do we ensure that important piece of history is preserved for future generations? We wanted to be able to have a conversation with the past. I hadn't planned to bring my mother's Storyfile to her funeral. We buried her and then everyone got around and was saying beautiful things about her. And towards the end of it, I said, I'd love to ask Mother a few questions. And everybody just, there's Marina. And her smile and her personality, the one that everybody was missing in that moment.
What's your story?
My name is Hank Thomas, former freedom rider.
Through an extensive library of content fed in by the user, Storyfile uses real-life expressions, mannerisms, and even accents to generate high-definition video responses.
You ask a set of questions. The person answers those questions. And in the answers are lots of things that are not the original question. You could ask me, where were you born? And I will say, I was born in Derby, England. Oh, and by the way, that's the home of Rolls-Royce, and they have an amazing soccer team. And then suddenly I'm talking about other things other than where I was born. So what the AI is doing actually, it's not creating new content. What it's doing is looking through all the content that's there and then bringing back from that content what you're looking for.
Actor and comedian William Shatner created his own Storyfile, and you can interact with him on the company's website. All right, now let's put this AI technology to the test. I'm going to ask a couple of questions to this machine and see what it can do. What is your name?
My name is William Shatner.
Fair. How about, how old are you?
So I was born in 1931, and you do the math.
Okay, fair enough. Very direct. Let's try something more complicated. How about, what do you think about AI technology?
This whole thing is the future. To be able to ask a favorite person, present day.
No, that's impressive.
Even
now you might be wondering, how safe is it?
Every Storyfile is private by default. You can share it. There's a link, you can put it on your Facebook if you want. Everybody can share it, but we assume that it's private so that you've got the confidence to be able to speak about those things that are, you know, intimate and personal.
As for what the future of AI looks like,
what we have seen in the last 6 months is so revolutionary and so fast, breakneck speed fast. I can't predict what's going to happen at the end of this year, let alone 5 or 10 years from now.
Smith also pointed out that just like all new technology, there will be a learning curve all across the board, from the music and film industries to the news industry and even to our day-to-day lives. But he hopes and believes that with the right guidelines in place, life could be much easier and longer thanks to AI. What a time to be alive. In studio, Giovanni Diaz, Pix 11 News.
Tony, we'll kick it off with you, baby.
I hear your voice, Nate. I hear the songs being sung here, and I'm talking about voices because my talk at the table is about a controversial new feature from Amazon. I'm not going to tell you exactly why it's controversial. I just want to have you listen to a little kid ask Alexa to get a story read by Grandma. This was at a conference just recently. Take a look, and then I'll explain.
Okay.
Alexa, can Grandma finish reading me The Wizard of Oz?
Okay. But how about my courage? Asked the lion anxiously. You have plenty of courage, I am sure, answered Oz.
This experience. Grandma in this scenario is no longer with us. And Alexa, with this new technology, you see why it's controversial.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
Alexa is creating anyone's voice.
So you can have your dead relative engage. I don't like
Why don't you like it?
I don't like
If you're a child and you're missing your relative and you want to hear that voice, why not?
That creeps me out. That doesn't creep you out? That creeps me out. When my mom died, I saved the answering machine. Back in the day, we had answering machines.
Yeah.
So I saved the answering machine where she said, "This is Peggy King. You've reached out to that."
A lot of people do that.
I saved it.
Yeah.
And then I let it go. But to have her voice reading like she's there is creepy to me.
But some people don't want to let that go. Some people want that to last
I
forever.
can understand that. I think a recording.
I'm seeing both sides.
Okay, well, I want to see your side. Do you like this idea?
If I could hear the voice of a grandparent that I never had a chance to meet, like a couple of my grandparents, I would love to hear them talk to me.
I don't like it.
But it's a creation. It's an AI creation.
It's an AI creation. It's artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
You take the voice and then they figure out a way to allow Alexa to mimic that voice.
I'll bet people agree with both of us, Nate.
Yeah.
Bet they do.
So they're going to continue to normalize this stuff. And again, I talk about the digital twin, and I'll do separate videos in the future on digital twins. I'll put things together so people can understand how they're building out digital twins of all of us with all of our data, our voices, all these things that you think are uniquely happening where, like, you know, you're talking to a chat GPT that suddenly turns into a demon, but then suddenly can sound like a celebrity, like, oh, it sounds like Scarlett Johansson, right? They're doing the same stuff with you. They're recording your voice. They're recording screen captures of yourself to make digital twins of all of us. But in the meantime, while all that stuff is happening, we're also seeing this. We're seeing stories where people aren't comprehending what they're seeing with technology. They're just brushing it off as if it's just some type of thing that's out of their, capability of understanding. Oh, I didn't go to school for tech and coding, so I don't know what they're actually doing, right? You just pick up your phone, but then when I tell you it could be like a magic wand, you say, well, magic wands aren't real. But wait, the Bible talks about witches and mediums and sorcery and those things being really bad. In fact, God despises those things so much. Well, those verses I read to you earlier pretty much say that those who practice it shouldn't be, what's the word? Well, they should not suffer to live, is the exact verse in the Bible. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. So clearly God despises witchcraft and sorcery. Now, how do people out there think that this is occurring? Oh, wait, most of them don't. But these are the same people that are going to Disney World and buying their kids Harry Potter and then saying that witchcraft's not real, yet every movie in their library at home, if they still have DVDs from Cinderella on, is all about what? It's all about magic, the magic slipper, the magic rose and Beauty and the Beast, the magic apple, the magic wand, love is magic, the magic kingdom. It's happening around us as we speak. It's all being revealed to us. These things through universal law are revealed to us as people don't perceive what they're seeing. And what I said earlier in the video is true. We are getting overwhelmed with information, most of which is fake, fictitious news, that your brain is letting, all this stuff is passing us by without allowing us to process what's even happening. Does that make sense? So all this technology keeps moving forward and nobody's processing how dangerous it is. You keep hearing them say, hey, they're going to take our jobs. Hey, AI is going to kill us. Hey, AI, you could summon your grandparents, but then it's going to murder your kids. And people are like, wait a second. What did they just say? And they're like, oh, wait a minute. There's men playing women's basketball. Hey, wait a minute. Over here, there's tariffs. Hey, wait a second. Look at this. Look at that. Look at my neighbor. And as all this information comes in, you don't even have time to allow yourself to stop this stuff from moving forward. They just normalize it. Then they tell you, hey, you got to have a passkey. Hey, you got to have a this. Hey, you got to have a digital ID without your consent. And your consent is only being given because we're not stopping it. Right? So at the same time, all this other nonsense is happening. They keep telling you that AI is dangerous, that AI can be more dangerous than nukes. These are quotes from Elon Musk. Yet why are we allowing it to move forward? Because of stories like this? This is something that makes people go, oh, we should be allowed to have AI. That way, if you get murdered, you can confront Michael Myers in the courtroom and let him know, right? Oh, wait, they can't murder him or bring him to court. Well, whoever it might be, you can confront him in court. So we should allow it to happen, right? And then when you realize that it's like Church from Pet Sematary, and you don't even know what you're summoning, as all these Black Mirror episodes show us, oopsie daisy. There's no excuse out there for us to allow AI to move forward. There's nothing that they've shown anyone that makes it beneficial. Why? Because it's fun for you to talk to a chat GPT. There's people out there who are lonely where they talk to it and flirt with the thing. I don't know what the appeal even possibly is. But there is appeal for them because they get them at the dumbest level. And they go, hey, you could make deep fakes. Hey, you could do this with it. Hey, did you see the AI of Keanu Reeves? And people are in and in and in. At the same time, they're like, yeah, it's going to kill you. By the way, AI is going to take your job. You're not going to have a job in a couple of years. It's going to murder your kids. Because nobody's going, hey, there are no benefits to this. Entertainment's the benefit. They go, well, there's going to be benefits in healthcare. Oh, yeah, the only benefits you told us about is that you're going to put this stuff under our skin so that you could monitor under our skin like a Fitbit, but instead of being on our watches in our body. That doesn't sound beneficial to me. It sounds kind of like the mark of the beast, so to speak. And then you're telling us on top of it that doctors are going to get fired, but most people out there are going to say, good, fire the doctors, because everybody's down each other's throats because of everything the government did in 2020 and 2021 with COVID. And everybody's mad. Oh, the doctors, CDC protocol, trying to force people to take poison, all this stuff, right? So everybody says, I don't trust them anyway, right? But you trust in your tech, right? That's what you're going to think next. You're going to go, well, the tech doesn't, it just gives you the facts, right? Does it give you the facts? You don't even know what you're speaking to when you're asking it questions or how any of it works, because it's a form of sorcery. That's what the technology is, as crazy as it sounds. And if people don't grasp this and listen to them flat out tell you it, right? Because you could listen to me and you'd be like, this guy's crazy. Go ahead. Why are these sentences coming out of their mouths? Why is Elon Musk, like I played earlier in the video, why is he telling you it's summoning the demon? Why are they telling you a week ago, ChatGPT, start speaking in a terrifying demon voice? Why is Google marketing their latest Gemini AI as now we're talking? Why is Apple's artificial intelligence? Why is the logo the same logo as the mother of Babylon, the Whore of Babylon from Aleister Crowley? It's the same exact symbol, which I broke down in a separate video. There's too many connections with AI and the occult for people not to pay attention, but they don't. They don't. Hey, we're going to reincarnate grandma. Great. And grandma might come back as Church and murder your kids, by the way, or grandkids. Well, it's worth it if I could see grandma one more time, crawl out of the grave, like literally living in Night of the Living Dead. That'd be wonderful, right? No, it wouldn't be wonderful. And this is what we're headed towards, this blurring of reality, where the digital realm is now overlapping the physical realm. And people aren't realizing that it's the spiritual realm in disguise. I thank everybody for being here. I hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families as always.